you literally just told me your mama left you when you were 6 months old.
Yep.
Your aunt and your uncle raised you barely. You got out of school, still didn't know how you was gonna get your next meal, and you are here today. Have you had to do a lot of work? Do you feel like you ignored the trauma? Do you feel like you brush it under the rug and just keep pushing? Or do you feel like you have faced it head on? This is my truth. This is my story. I wasn't, because it was very hard for me to say certain things about my past. Or actually, that was abuse. That person wasn't just mean. I actually was abused. Or that person wasn't just strict.
Yep.
I actually was abused.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, to vocalize that is actually very scary for me. And I'm walking in my truth in this season. No, that person was wrong. No, because you start to train your, no, maybe I was a bad kid.
Yeah.
Or maybe, no, that's the enemy trying to trick you into the truth.
Yep.
So do you feel like you have faced your truth in this season and it has helped you flourish and grow? Or do you feel like you still bury some of that trauma and just keep trucking?
I'm definitely a bury and keep trucking.
Man.
I definitely am. I've been told all through high school that I persevere in the face of adversity very well.
Wow.
I was homeless my last year of high school. My aunt, we was living in like Section 8 housing in the Bronx. I kicked out. I don't know how, because the rent $2. So I don't know how you kicked out of Section 8 housing in the Bronx, but middle of me in my 12th year of high school, like I'm about to be done and nowhere to go. So I went to my best friend's house. You know, after a while, I was like, okay, we can't take care of you no more.
Yeah.
You're not another mouth to feed. I got 4 mouths to feed already in the house.
Wow.
Then with my boyfriend, he lived with his mom, his dad, his brothers. We broke up a few months later. That was awkward at school. That was awkward at school. We broke up.
That is not my man.
That's right. And I was living with him, so now I'm sticking to my friend's house, sleeping on her bed, sleeping on her couch, bouncing back and forth in high school. And I talk about it a little bit, but I don't. I know I need therapy.
Have you ever tried it?
I've tried therapy a little bit here and there, but not consistent.
Not consistent
I need a
enough to see that
like
growth.
weekly. I need every 2 days.
Yeah.
I can text you, sis, what's going on? Like that's what I need, because I kind of bury it and then persevere.
Wow.
Bury it and persevere, and it's hard because I try to speak on it because I know people that's going through it right now that needs to know that someone else went through it and came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted on Facebook that it's nothing worse than when you're living with someone that you know don't want you there, and people were all in the comments. Yep, yo, oh, it hurt so bad. I'm like, people need to know that you went through it and you overcame it, so you can do it too.
And you're not the only person.
You're not the only one. So
it was
hard.
For acknowledging that. I didn't expect that answer. I'm like, so what? You said no. I bury.
I'm real good. Like I said, I cut people off. My aunt, I haven't spoke to her.
And you just act like it never happened.
I spoke to my aunt like 6 years.
Wow, the one that raised you.
Yeah, and even then, it was my nana's funeral. Like I talked to her for the funeral, barely at that. Like, all right, sis, don't be too close to me for the. Wow. But it's my funeral for my nana, so I'm gonna be there. But I don't talk to her at all. She tried to add me on Facebook. Don't add her back. No. My uncle, a little bit here and there. I tried calling my dad a few months ago. Not really. It was just, I'm trying, but then my thing is out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see you, you don't exist.
It doesn't trigger you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you will get to that point of trying to tie in those loose ends and have that? Because sometimes I feel like you said, out of sight, out of mind. But if I see you and I'm still triggered, or if something happens and it takes me back to that place of unforgiveness, of anger, I don't even want to feel that. Yeah. I want to be able to see somebody that hurt me and be like, I'm actually okay. And I'm still working through that. You know what I mean? Like, I encourage you to work through that, sis, because your light is so bright now. Once you do that digging, oh my God.
I think I'm scared of it. I think I'm scared of one because I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with that a year ago, right before I was pregnant. I got diagnosed with that. And it makes sense. I go back and think about it. I'm very forgetful. I forget so many things. But I also have very bad anxiety. When I mean bad anxiety, I mean I can like lose my phone for 2 seconds. Someone stole it. They took in my information on the internet. Like, that's how my mind goes in a second. And my kid coughs. I'm like, oh, he's about to go to the doctor's office, about to choke. I'm like, it just goes to like from 0 to 1,000.
Man.
So quick. I can't sleep at night because my anxiety constantly going all the time. So I know I need to dive in because I feel like healing from some of that past will calm my anxiety some.
Getting to the root of it.
Yeah, I have to. I know I have to. It's just, I find an excuse to like, oh, I'm busy. I got to work. I got to do this. I have to do this. I have to take care of. I don't have time. I know I do. If I make the time, you make time for what you want to do. But it's just like, I'm scared to what I'm going to like let out there. Like, I remember some things from my past, not all of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I might start remembering more
Digging
stuff
and
that's
remembering
worse
and
than the stuff that I do remember. I remember crying on the couch because I'm hungry,
yes.
but I don't want to know what more happened. I remember my aunt saying things like, "I should have never took you in. Like,
Jeez, you remember
if you
that.
didn't want somebody's kid, why take them in? Don't take them in
Man.
and then resent them."
Man.
So I remember things like that, and the more I think about it, I'm like, I bring up more memories. I'm like, I push it to the back of my mind,
Yeah.
and I push through
Yeah.
because I got 4 kids. I
Yeah.
don't have. It's like you can't have time to have your own pain when you have 4 kids you have to raise.
Yeah.
If I'm angry, if I'm overwhelmed, I tell my kids, "Hey, mommy, a little bit overstimulated right now. I need you to go
Give
sit
me a
down.
second. Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
everybody, my I'm like, just go sit down for a few minutes. Let me catch my breath. Let me catch, my thoughts, and I come to you when I'm ready because it's too much."
But see, that's already progress and working on it. You at least have your tools in place because you know you have your anxiety.
Yep.
And these things you're listing are the symptoms.
I know.
Once you
Yeah.
get to that root, sis, and I'm over here. I'm talking to myself too because I'm still working on it.
Yep.
I was in therapy for a year. My therapist took a hiatus. She came back in March. I think I'm on her schedule for the first time in I think 3 months.
Oh,
So
wow.
I go back this month and I've done so much healing. Like I was sharing with our previous guest, Crystal Renee. I was like, I wrote my dad a letter, girl, and I'm like, not going into your healing with expectations of what your aunt gonna say. I'm sorry. No, this is for me.
Okay.
If y'all want to stay in the same place, I'm not saying write her a letter.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. But I think sometimes we go into healing expecting the other person to take accountability. Or if y'all aren't ready to heal, that's not going to keep my healing stagnant. I'm going to move forward and I'm going to choose to heal for me. Whether you apologize, whether you take accountability, whether you admit the truth, I'm going to do all that for me. Man.
And it's hard because you think about it is you kind of expect people to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, would that sorry actually heal you? They could be lying.
They could be lying.
I got plenty of I'm sorries.
Yeah.
And they were lying.
See, and I'm the opposite. I ain't got I maybe one I'm sorry. Most of the people that have hurt me don't take accountability, and that bothers me. That bothers me because my love language is words of affirmation.
Oh, yeah.
If you just be like, with sincerity, of course, a true heart of repentance. You know what I did to you was fucked up. I was not in a right space. That is enough for me to have some type of relief. But I know I can't wait on that. Yep. So I have to create my forgiveness and my peace and my healing on my own without waiting for a I'm sorry and accountability. So
but that was affirmation. That's why it hurts you so bad.
So bad.
Mine's acts of service.
I need you to do something.
Yeah, I need you to do something. So when I feel like people aren't like, I don't like ask people to do stuff for me. You should. In my mind, read my mind. You should know what I want.
In my mind, what did I just think?
What did I just think?
Yeah,
what do you think I need help with? Because I'm so used to carrying the burden. Even when I was a kid, changing my cousin's diapers and cleaning the house up and stuff like. I never cooked like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
More so when I turned 18, I was cooking more and more for my house. But when I was a kid, like give my aunt massages, clip her toenails, and like crazy stuff that I was always doing something for somebody else. So my love language acts of service. I want to do it for me now.
Do something for me.
Do it for me. But I still have this thing where I have to touch everything and do everything. I'm like trying to sit back, like, you know what? You hired them to do it.
Yeah.
Let them do it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so hard because it's like acts of service. I gave her so many acts of service when I was a kid that I just wish I had someone to do it for me. And I do now. My man, he does it.
You love that man, girl.
I love that man.
Like,
I'm
back
saying,
to my man.
It's like I don't really want an apology. Not that I don't care. It's that I know she won't, which I'm sure she dealt with her own mental illnesses.
100%.
I'm sure
most
100%.
Black
It has
nothing
women,
to do with you.
Her anger outbursts.
What happened to them when they were kids?
Yeah,
we don't know what the stuff they carried and didn't heal from.
And because back then going to the doctor was like forbidden. Like, what's wrong with you?
You're crazy.
You're supposed to be, supposed to be doing everything by yourself. You're supposed to be strong. It's okay to need help.
Yes.
But back then that wasn't a thing.
Yes.
So now I'm glad that we're able to have these tools to get counseling, even online.
Yes.
Just open the app and you got counseling services.
It.
Pills if you need it. Like everything right there on the app, you can get the help you need. Podcasts, YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Stefan Speaks literally helped me so much watching his YouTube videos.
Wow.
So much, like about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Helped me so much. And reading books about like healthy healing and finding your journey and all that stuff.
And that's what people could do if y'all not ready for therapy for that big step, and you don't have a community. Do you feel like you have a community of friends and family, or it's kind of
I
just
have a
your
I have
boys
a
and
tight a
a
tight
tight
knit.
knit?
Yeah, they
Okay.
right now they're in Florida. One one's in Atlanta and two is in Florida.
Okay,
They
okay. So
we're real tight
you
knit.
have your
Yeah.
community, your
Yep.
village of few people, but that's great.
Yep.
Books, podcasts, there's so many outlets that,
Mhm.
and that's what I built this platform on, just resilience.
Yep.
Resilience. You are here because of resilience. You are here because you didn't let your circumstances define who you were going to be.
Yep.
You are here because, okay, I know what they say about welfare. I know what they say about food stamps. I know what they say about a black woman that has 3 kids, three different. I know what they say.
Mhm.
That ain't got nothing to do with my success. That has nothing to do with where God has taken me. So I'm so proud of you for that.